بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نحمده ونصلي ونسلم على رسوله الكريم أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. It is now permissible under UK law to create what is known as double-decker graves, and that process involves digging up the remains of a human body and then re-burying it much deeper, so then the authorities can allow for somebody else to be buried in the same grave in a more shallow depth. So essentially you have one person buried, then you have a second person buried above them. This gives the local authorities a lot more control. It gives them the opportunity to bury a lot more people in a smaller space. However, they of course would need the consent of the next of kin to dig up anybody's remains. In Islam, of course, this is not a preferred practice. It's something that should be avoided because ultimately each person's grave is their own personal space. And even if ultimately that person has passed into the afterlife, for the family members who are left behind in this dunya, it would be very disturbing for them to find out that their loved one has somebody else buried on top of them, or even worse, that their loved one, the remains of their loved one, have been dug up and moved or resurfaced and buried again, or disturbed or touched in any way, shape, or form. And so in Islam, it is always recommended to leave the graves as they are and to ensure that they are preserved as best as we can. And that's why in the Garden of Blessings, we are pleased to offer everybody their own individual grave. There is no policy of digging up any human remains, or double-decker graves are not part of the policy in the Garden of Blessings. And so that is something we encourage, and that is something that we offer and we adhere to in the Garden of Blessings Cemetery.